What's up, you guys? Tesla ended up closing under $220 today, and we're going to go over this big bearish order block that is sitting right here and why I think there's a really good put position open. We're going to also talk about if we push through 220, why I believe that if we're through that level, we should see a 10% move up to $240 within a week or so. If you guys want to follow my trades, go check me out on Twitter. I post all my trades over there, as well as this Tesla trade that we're going to go over in this video, and check out our Discord community. There's over 12,000 members over there. It's completely free. Guys get access to free courses, free live streams, free seminars, and free webinars. Let's start first with technical analysis on Tesla. This is going to be a 4-hour chart, and I'm only running one indicator, and it's going to be smart money concepts. There are a lot of people who like to use this indicator. Some people live and die by it. I think it's a really good tool, and I like to use it in conjunction with price action and volume, specifically the volume profile, which is going to be the other indicator, I should say, over here on the right side of your screen. Now, if we look here on the daily chart for Tesla, you're going to see that there is no volume from 218 all the way up to $240. This is called a dead zone in our volume profile. I'll actually be able to highlight it a little bit easier for you guys right here. But within these zones, the stock will move, not just Tesla, but any stock within a low area of volume like this will move very, very aggressively in these areas. And you can see, for instance, just going back until June of this year, if we were to take our info line, we had a massive 12% drop within 12 days in this dead zone, followed by a massive 12% rip within 12 days, followed by, again, a massive 8% drop down, and that was going to be earnings. So I think that if we do push up through this resistance level, there's a very high chance that we're going to see Tesla just rip back up to $240, which is why I'll be very, very quick to cut my put position, which I'm down about $14,000 on. Now, my long-term positions that I have down at $202.50, I'm obviously holding on to those, and this was really just a hedge against my long-term positions, just simply because the risk versus reward was pretty solid. Even when I was entering down at 212, we had a 1.4 RVR, and we will usually reject here about 75% of the time. So if this order block is actually given up and we push through, I would expect Tesla to continue its move back up to $240. We're also seeing a potential inverted head and shoulders pattern on this chart, which you can see here, where we have a shoulder down here, followed by a push back up to this bearish block sitting here at about 218, followed by a lower low, which would be our head. And what could potentially end up happening here is we could see this rejection and a potential pullback down to $200, and then maybe this breakup back to $240. It's looking like Tesla wants to test 240 before going back down to $180, $190. That's a question that a lot of people have been asking me, like, hey, do you still think we're going to get that move to 180? And in my honest opinion, I think there's probably about a 65% chance that we pull back down to 180 within the next month or so. So what I'm really watching for is this potential rejection. If we don't get the rejection and we hold over 225 going into tomorrow, I will close out my put and I will just hold my long-term shares up to $260, and at $260, once we're up within these heavy institutional levels, that's where I will start to once again start a put position on Tesla against my shares, and once again look for a potential rejection. So I do think that we will see, honestly, Tesla back down within this 180 level, but there's a good chance that we could move all the way back up to 250 and retrace. We've been talking about this for a while, so if you guys have been watching the channel, this isn't anything really new. If you see as well, we can come over here and actually take our Fibonacci retracement, and we can come from up here where this resistance level was, from this swing high, all the way down to our swing low. Now, the three ones that I have in green, these lines are the 0.5, the 0.618, and the 0.786. The 0.786 and the 0.618 tend to be that golden zone, also the 0.5. So looking at this would also line up with a push back up into that golden pocket level of about $240 to $244, which once again would be a very solid time to look to pick up some puts, potentially as a trade, or maybe even against my long-term positions like we spoke about before. Now, something that we are going to want to see if you're a bull or even a bear is going to be volume coming in behind these moves. At the bottom of your screen, you are going to see an on-balance volume. And instead of just seeing bars at the bottom of your screen like normal, these are going to represent the volume, but within a line formation. And so to be quite honest, even though I have puts on this, it's looking like we're probably going to break through this resistance level unless volume starts to get pulled out of it. When we're coming into a resistance level and we see volume coming in, making higher highs, looking stronger, that means that the bulls are buying into that resistance level. So tomorrow will most likely be the make or break for if I plan to hold my put positions or not. And if we actually switch over to look at the unusual flow for the day, big money was pretty silent, and they've been pretty silent, which is why I've been holding on to my put positions and why I haven't instantly just been like, all right, I'm going to get out of these trades. Because normally if we're running into these resistance levels and we see big money buying a ton of calls into these resistance levels, it's a very good sign. But today, if we look at the bottom left side of your screen for confirmed bullish flow, which we all know is very important, we care more about the confirmed bullish and the confirmed bearish over the most active calls and puts. And the reason for this is because we're looking for only flow that came in on the ask, above the ask, or on the bid, or below the bid. We need to know that this is going to be a confirmed purchase and not potentially, $100 million in calls, but the person selling covered calls, and we think that they're, taking a bullish trade when in reality it's a bearish trade or potentially a hedge. And as we look at the bottom left, you will see that Tesla is nowhere to be found in the most confirmed flow for the day. If we move over and look at the most active calls for the day, we do have $15 million on Tesla, but that's very low. We would really want to see at least 50, maybe $100 million in confirmed flow. And in most active puts, we actually have $297 million on Tesla. And confirmed bearish flow, we have $86 million on Tesla. So if we actually go over, we take a look at this heat map, we can get a better understanding of what's happening here. The first thing is we have a lot of people selling covered calls. There's a lot of people selling covered calls for this week and next week at $222 and about $217.50. So this means just looking at the buying patterns for today and the selling patterns for today, that big money is banking on Tesla closing next week below $222. So once again, lining up with our analysis, it doesn't mean that Tesla has to crater back down to 200, but they are not expecting this breakout to happen until at least next week, which moves in line with my analysis. I actually didn't even notice that until we looked at this heat map right now. But using unusual flow and watching heat maps like this is extremely important, especially when you have a very professional eye for it, because you can get an understanding of what big money is doing in real time. And they have more money than us, more resources than us, so we should just follow them. And if you want access to all my hand-picked flow, I post it within our Discord community in the premium section. Moving over to the S&P 500, you're going to see basically the same exact thing almost, but a little bit more weak in my opinion. The S&P 500 had this big bounce off of this order block level and ran all the way up to this resistance. At this moment, SPY is sitting here at 435 resistance with a big order block as a resistance as well. If you were to enter here, set a stop loss up at 349 or 439.42 and a take profit down here at 412, this will give you a 6-to-1 risk versus reward ratio, meaning that literally you can only win 1 out of 6 times and you would still break even. And in my opinion, there's a very high chance, probably about 65-75% chance that we're going to at least pull back down to 420. And I think that from there, that's where this inverted head and shoulders could form, the same way that we're seeing this happen with Tesla, where we create the left shoulder, we create the head, and then from there, maybe we get to pull back down to 420 and then potentially the breakout back up. And if we were to move over to QQQ, you would guess it, we have the same exact type of setup where we have this big resistance coming in here at about 374 to 370, big bearish order block. And if we were to set this trade up in the same exact manner, we'd have resistance level here at 374.33 with our stop loss, take profit all the way down at 340, and that would give us a whopping 5-to-1 risk versus reward. These are the types of moves that we're looking for, guys. We're not sitting here looking for every single little tick that comes our way. We're really looking for really high RVR trades that have a very high accuracy rating. If you can have a trading strategy like this that is going to end up being profitable 60, 65, 75% of the time, where every single time you're winning 5 to 6 times what you're losing, you will have more money than you know what to do with in the long run. Today was pretty slow, and I'm keeping this video very brief because this week seems like it's going to really be firing up, and I have a lot of amazing content planned your way. If you guys want to trade with me every single day, go check out our Discord community. And if you guys want to upgrade to get access to all of my trades, all my handpicked unusual flow, my live streams, which I do 3 times a week, as well as all of our moderators, unusual options flow and trades, you can go over there, and for only $50 a month, you can upgrade. We've actually started an FTMO challenge account today, so you can be able to get access to all of those trades as you watch me pass a funded trading account. Thanks for all the support, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace.